And we're live. Welcome to another edition of On Tap. A lot of things that I definitely want to get into. And what we do here is, we talk about sports, everything and everything. NFL, NBA, MLB, hockey, and yes, UFC. UFC. Where do we begin? I think the talk of the town, I think, is definitely the UFC. And Weidman, geez, what happened with him? Damn shame. And Usman versus Masvidal. Looking just right now, I think the main fight, and I'll touch over a little bit of UFC, go over a little bit of it, but Masvidal, Usman. I love Masvidal. I love his arrogance, his cockiness, his swagger. But you can't play around with top talent in your face like that. That was one of the best punches I've ever seen in a long time. Straight through his face. Looked like Nolan Ryan winding up for a perfect pitch. I mean, that one was just amazing. That was picture perfect. Flatlined a guy with an iron chin, did Usman. Nothing but respect for that. Usman really took this striking to a new high, and now he has more tools to set up that power of his. Not even guys like Wonder Boy could KO Masvidal. That is just serious power and just absolutely proper setting up your power hand there. One of the cleanest punches to ever land. Period. I feel bad for Jorge, right? But this is the fight game, and his trust in his chin finally betrayed him. Finally. Always so close, but never quite ever getting the strap. Still a fan and always will be, just like when I was, just like when I was when he was a scrawny kid fighting in the streets. But it is obvious, man, that Usman is the real deal and really just the better man, honestly, right now. Just absolutely knocked him out completely. Undisputed. UFC 261, one of the better cards in a recent while, and I'm a big UFC fan. Done quite a few videos here. Haven't really dived into UFC all that much lately on the channel, which is why I do On Tap. That kind of allows me to catch up on some news stories that that I haven't had a chance to go over in the past week. Doug Rose, congratulations to her. New strawweight champion as well. If it wasn't for the way I think that Rose landed on her head and neck in that Andrade fight, she would have never lost the belt. Big Rose fan. What can you say besides congratulations? I feel happy for her. Doug Rose is back, folks. Emotional victory. I think it's a perfect story moment for her career and her life. Listen, when that strawweight, belt started with Esperanza, then Joanna brutally striked her out, took the belt, kept it for a while until Rose kind of took it. And after, it's been bouncing from Andrade to Welly, and now back to Rose. I'm excited to see if Rose can keep it as long as Johanna did. Obviously, congratulations to her. You might say that she won't. You never know. You never know. And listen, I'm a huge fan of Joanna too, but Rose has dominated so many greats: Waterson, Joanna, Andrade, and now Zhang. Who would be next? I would maybe like to see Alexa Grasso, but I think that Rose would dominate her as well. I do think that. I do think that she would do that. Um, Flyweight Valentina kept her strap. Um, One of my favorite fighters too. Um, like when I was watching that fight, like I thought to myself that maybe, just maybe she would call out Nunez and go for that trilogy. Um, and I think she is eventually going to have to, no choice, unless she wants to clean the class completely. And you might say that maybe you already think that she did clean it out. Um, Now, and you might say that you felt that she was robbed in the second fight. I mean, I don't know. She wasn't really robbed. I don't think. The rules are very biased to grappling. Valentina won the stand up and distance control of the fight, which is surprising since Amanda KOs everybody, but she couldn't KO an underweight in Valentina. Amanda, won the fight by standing on top of Valentina when she took her down. But Amanda wasn't really able to pull off any good offense while on top and didn't really advance position at all. Um, I think if a bottom grappler is able to defend themselves and stifle offense from the top fighter, they should get points for it, especially with the weight discrepancy of the two. Um, you know, it depends. It depends if you feel that she was robbed. Um, but Valentina definitely did cause some rounds. Did cause some damage, even in those rounds that Nunez did. So we're kind of going back and forth here as I'm going off topic, but it would be definitely um, competition that you would love to see. That you would love to see. Um, Chris Weidman, uh, kind of what you see happen to Weidman. Um, wow, it's very gruesome. As he was leaving the arena, he was giving the thumbs up, hoping that he could recover, just like Anderson Silva. That's a very rough injury. Props to Uriah too. Not the way that he wanted to win, but he handled that with true class. Run it back when they can, when they can. Hopefully. Geez, like it's tragic and ironic too. Um, I was really looking forward to this fight, honestly. Um, Gruesome injury. It's like one of those injuries. Like if you look at it, I remember if you're a big wrestling fan from back in the day, it almost reminds me of that Sid Vicious when he was in WCW coming off like the top rope, I believe it was, and damn near uh, insane, gruesome. And you just kind of put your you just turn your head, and it's like the odds of that happening to him after he did that to Silva is insane. Now, some people are always, or some fans in UFC have heard, been bitter because they felt that he credited Silva's uh, break on his leg checking skills and called it the Devastator. Supposedly, this is now, I don't know if this is fact, supposedly this is what Weidman has said prior. Or something ridiculous, even though it was like a freak situation, right? Now it happened to him. That, hopefully he could recover because that can be a career-ending break. Silva was lucky to return, but he was never never the same after that. Um, Completely never the same. Um, what else do we have from UFC 261? Again, probably one of the better cards in that in a very very long time. So I think you're impressed with that. Um, One other thing here that I did want to. Yeah, we talked about Valentina, Doug Rose. I think that's pretty much all that I had from the UFC 261 card. It was definitely, yeah, like I said, one of the better UFC cards in quite some time. So I grab here a refreshment. I would be remiss if I didn't congratulate you. If you listened to my channel before, um, numerous of times, talking some NFL, numerous of times, I have told you that I'm a um, huge Matt Harvey fan. I think that he had the oopsfa. Is that the word I'm looking for? The oopsfa, the swagger, and unfortunately, what kind of drove things sour for him, or what kind of hurted things for him was injury. Uh, but he had the potential um, to be. I think that was. Now, obviously, it was Jason DeGrom. Jason, by the way, what can't Jason DeGrom did? Just another unhuman performance. Another unhuman performance by Jason DeGrom. But Matt Harvey was an absolute stud. He had so much potential, and unfortunately, he got injured. And he's bounced around the league. And one of the latest videos that I've done about Matt Harvey when he joined the Orioles and he had signed with the Orioles, I kind of thought that maybe Matt Harvey could reinvent himself as far as a reliever. While he's still trying to get to that spot, trying to be a productive pitcher, serviceable pitcher, still trying his hand as far as going the route of actual starting. And he did get a win. First win in, I believe it was over 3 years. Over 3 years. So, congratulations to Matt Harvey on his victory. And then what we do here, obviously, we skip around, we come back to certain topics. 27 years ago today, after the great Mel Kiper criticized the Colts pick of linebacker Trev Alberts over Trent Dilfer, Chris Mortensen got the most memorable soundbite in draft history from former Colts GM Bill Tobin. So 27 years ago, Mel Kiper criticized the Colts pick of linebacker Trev Alberts over quarterback Trent Dilfer. Chris Mortensen, former Colts GM Bill Tobin, and well, this is what happened.
Who you should take and who you shouldn't take. In my knowledge of him, he's never. Who in the hell is Mel Kiper in a way? I mean, here's a guy that criticizes everybody, whoever they take. He's got the answers who you should take and who you shouldn't take. In my knowledge of him, he's never ever put on a jockstrap. He's never been a coach. He's never been a scout. He's never been an administrator. And all of a sudden, he's an expert. He's in our papers 2 days ago telling us who we have to take. We don't have to take anybody that Mel Kiper says we have to take. Mel Kiper has no more credentials to do what he's doing than my neighbor, and my neighbor's a postman, and he doesn't even have season tickets to the NFL. Who in the hell is Mel Kiper in a way? I mean,
who in the hell is Mel Kiper? Listen. Now, if you look at it, okay, yeah, you're going to tell me, listen, Trent Dilfer was so good that the Ravens parted ways with him after the Ravens defense won the Super Bowl. By the way, Bill Tobin, a GM in the NFL, lived next to a postman. Oh, GM play has come a long way. Mel Kiper's hair has not moved in 27 years. But let's be honest, Trent Dilfer played 6 seasons with the team who drafted him, and 8 more seasons for 4 different teams. Trev Albert couldn't play an entire season in any of the 3 seasons he was with the Colts. Now, everyone says that, when Trent Dilfer went on to win a Super Bowl, but, everyone thinks that they could have won that Super Bowl as a quarterback with the Ravens defense. But, let's be honest, you're going to tell me. If Dilfer went to Indy, they probably would never have gotten Manning, right? I think they did all right for themselves. Listen, and, to be fair, Kiper was right on this one. Got to give it to Kiper. Kiper does his job very well. His job is to get people talking about the draft. He doesn't care what they say as long as the draft is into people's heads. Draft, 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 draft. There is no such thing as bad publicity. I'm going to tell you that. No such thing as bad publicity. When he's gone, the draft, I think, is going to miss him. I think he is. Now, it's stirring the pot. That's what Mel Kiper is doing. Stirring the pot. And it really got, to the Colts. And that's, you might say, if you're not a Colt fan, that's always a good thing. Interesting. There will be, the draft is coming up soon. And I look forward to the draft, obviously, and on my main channel, on my main channel from the Bleachers Sports Show, as you know, throughout the week I post various videos on various topics. I will definitely have something put together as far as the draft. Steelers signed head coach Mike Tomlin to a 3-year contract extension. Now, Tomlin is now on the contract to the Steelers through the 2024 season. Tomlin is entering his 15th season with Pittsburgh, and he is only the third Steelers coach since 1969. No franchise is as loyal to their coach as the Steeler franchise is. Now, I think any player would be lucky to have him. And, they did the right job. Consistency wins. Consistency wins. Teams that have consistency are able to, make some noise, do some productive things in the, in the, season in and out, each season. Come to think of it now, are you guys comfortable with a 3-year extension? You never fire coaches, just never really renew their contracts. Would you say to yourself, okay, if you're a Tomlin fan, you know what? I would like to see him. Maybe you want him to earn a contract a little, he has to win a playoff game, right? Playoff game, is that what you guys are saying to yourself? Maybe he should earn it. Hey, and I know there's some of you there that might say to yourself, Mike Tomlin's favorite quote is the standard is the standard. And you, on the other hand, are saying that he hasn't lived up to that standard. No. Playoff wins and Super Bowls are what matters in Pittsburgh. Now, Tomlin. Again, favorite quote, standard is a standard. Playoff wins and Super Bowls, what matters in Pittsburgh. And Tomlin has gotten embarrassed lately in the playoffs. very interesting to see what happens with Tomlin as we're having an internet connection here. Tomlin got embarrassed lately in the playoffs, and the wording, the innuendo that keeps on coming about him is that, quote unquote, you can't keep holding on to a Super Bowl that was gifted to you by a coach before. It's the same as Gruden taking credit for the team that Tony Dungy built. Now, this is what I hear some people say. Not me, necessarily. But, I do hear that. I do hear that. Now, staying on NFL news, the Browns have exercised the fifth-year option on quarterback Baker Mayfield. This is per ESPN's Jake Trotter. Regression this season. I don't know. With Baker Mayfield, the thought of paying this guy big is a little bit terrifying. Talk about a guaranteed play to be an 8-10 team, right? On a rookie contract, this guy barely looked good enough. At 30 million, I don't know, not going to work. The Browns do not win because of Baker Mayfield. They often win despite the player Baker Mayfield. Now you're going to tell me, Tom, listen, in the ever escalating quarterback market, the option is still fairly team friendly. I get that. But it also gives them kind of another year to decide if they want to invest long term. Now, if they were all in, this would be an exercising extension and not exercising an option. So you wonder, Baker Mayfield getting paid. And listen, it is good, absolutely great to be Baker Mayfield, by far. Very good. Now, he's going to have to live up. You might think, listen, that he's grown a lot this year. Grown a lot this last year, especially against the Steelers in the playoffs. Seeing the Browns didn't respond to anything the Steelers tainted them with. They just went and beat them, and so it's listen, and I know that this is a quarterback league, but I'm not sure that giving this guy this type of money so early wouldn't make sense. And he's not even, not even a starting quarterback. Let's see. Now, do want to also get into so it's going to be a very testing year as far as Baker Mayfield. The Bears have signed former 49ers wide receiver Marquise Goodwin as well here. And with Marquise Goodwin, talent is there if durability is not, but he offers more to a team in character that's underappreciated. When I remember seeing him in Buffalo, um, you know, he couldn't stay on the field in Goodwin. He just, he seems to be a good person, and that's why, being done this way, he's going there. Talent with the Bills, if talent is there, if durability is not, um, and you gotta stay healthy in Goodwin. Gotta stay healthy. Um, maybe maybe how do you keep him healthy? That's one of the questions. And football is I am all in on with football, and I cannot wait to football to kind of be back. Cannot wait for it to be back. It's a good time when football is around. All right, guys. So we're gonna call it an early night here. I talked about a couple of UFC things, a couple of notes. Some latest football signings. And yeah, guys, keeping it short this time. Mainly wanted to get on here and just talk about the UFC. That card was amazing. I hope all is well. Look forward to speaking.